Hey there, folks. Have you ever heard of this thing called the TriVium? TriVium, which is try, mainly the three. And there's basically three methods of learning. And if you use these methods of learning out of sequence, then most of the time you will not get what you're trying to learn. The TriVium is the basis of learning. It is the basic and the basis of learning. And you have to know about these things and be taught these things in sequence. And when I say in sequence, it is the same method of achieving anything. Because if you get things out of sequence, a lot of times it won't work. You can't build a house from the top to the bottom. You have to start with the foundation. And that is what the TriVium is about when it comes to education, when it comes to learning. And a lot of this stuff was left out of our learning when we were growing up. So hopefully, with this quick video, you'll learn what the TriVium is. And when you're teaching somebody something, you'll start with the very basics of the TriVium, which helps a person to learn something new, old, or whatever it is. So let's start with the TriVium, and I'm going to read it off of my thing over here and explain what it really is. First, the TriVium starts off with grammar. Grammar is basically just the words that you use. The words that you use to help explain something to someone. Grammar starts with who, what, when, and where. Who, what, when, and where. These are the things that a person should know to get understanding, to know how to go about doing something. Once you go into a training lesson with those four elements and starting with grammar, then you are building a foundation of learning. And it builds into the success of the person that you're training. Number two is logic. Logic is the why. Logic is the why the person needs to know it. It is the logic. It is the why a person should be listening to you. It is the why it's important to their life or to your life or to why you even telling it to them. Without why, a lot of people will brush it off. It's just information. It's just like watching a movie. A lot of times there are some whys in the movie that sometimes you get and you move on from it, and it becomes something that pushes you on in life or teaches you a lesson. And sometimes it's just nothing. If there is no why, there is no reason to do something. So the why have to be great enough. So what do we start with? We started with grammar, which is the who, what, when, where. Number two was logic, which is the why. And number three is rhetoric. Rhetoric is the how. The how. How is the way you go about doing something. I mean, you can tell somebody something, and you can even tell them the reason why. But if you don't tell them how, most likely, they won't do it. Or they won't know how to do it, or they'll attempt to do it, and they'll end up doing it wrong. So, you want to show a person how to do something. And the basic of learning is not showing someone how to do it without telling them why. You don't want to show somebody how to do something before telling them the who, what, when, and where. The TriVium, the very foundation of it, is starting off with grammar. Grammar, who, what, when, where. Logic, telling them why something is important, why they should be doing it. And rhetoric, then showing them how to do it. If you want someone to learn something, anything that you feel that is very important for them, you have to use the TriVium. The TriVium. Grammar, logic, rhetoric.